Welcome to the SoilWise webinar, Capacity and Community Building session. We will just start with a brief overview of today's agenda. We will start with a short presentation about the SoilWise project, and we are going to share some of the project results with you. Then we are going to present SoilWise Metadata Catalog, most specifically the new user interface of the Metadata Catalog. Then we are going to present SoilWise Companion, our smart chatbot. And after that, we are going to have some time for the open discussion. So now we will start with a brief overview of what the SoilWise project is all about. So today, soil data and knowledge is fragmented and scattered. They're hard to find and poorly described. Now, my colleague Radu Giorgio will talk about possible solutions and a more detailed description of the SoilWise project itself.
The solution should be to strengthen the fair data sharing. This can be done by support with co-design guidances and capacity building, such as this, and together trying to move from scattered efforts to interoperable and sustainable soil data and knowledge systems. In more simple words, what we try to do is to help the community making the soil data and knowledge fair. So here's how the project started. It's a 4-year Horizon Europe project in the Mission Soil framework. The main objective is to develop, test, and deliver a prototype for long-term soil knowledge and data metadata catalog. And this is expected to be part of the European Soil Observatory. So naturally, we're working very closely with the European Commission and JRC. The project have 15 partners from 9 countries, and it's a mix of developers and also partners that are working close with the use cases. Bit how we work, the methodology. So there are 4 phases that are repeated 3 times. So we work in iterative cycles. We have 3, say, development cycles. Each cycle starts with the co-design phase. So here, together with the different type of stakeholders and users, we are mapping what are the requirements for this product. Then these are translated into technical requirements where the developers are picking them up and developing in specific functionalities and components, which are then in the 3rd phase being validated and integrated into one environment. And finally, again, we close the loop by going back to the users and demonstrating what have been done. Right now, we are close to finalizing the 2nd cycle. So we have almost actually 3 prototypes released. And we are now in the phase of demonstrating what we have been developed. This is a more high-level demonstration that we're going to show today of some of the main things developed, but we'll have also very specific demonstration events for different stakeholder and target groups. So if you're interested to follow up that in more detail, you can find information on the website. So we are getting closely to the final run of development towards the end of the project and integration with the European Soil Observatory. So we have roughly 1 more year to get to the objectives that we initially set. And although we're going to talk also today a lot about the technical components or the, let's say, software product, we think that the project is really driven by users. We're working very closely with the Mission Soil projects. Now there are more than 60, 70 projects that produce soil data and knowledge, but they also have different wishes and requirements. There's a Mission Soil cluster on knowledge and data management, where we try to come together and solve common issues and make the life easier for everybody. We have also 5 use cases, the researchers, farmer advisors, policymakers, living labs, public authorities, and industry and SMEs. And we try to find how the things that we are develop are adding value to all the types of stakeholders. Of course, some are more interested in what we are developing than others. And what, again, in a nutshell, we deliver is the SoilWise metadata catalog, the Soil Companion, which is a chatbot that will be also presented today. And besides that, we are also developing a fairness strategy and guidelines to help the data and knowledge providers publish their records in a way that they become part of the SoilWise catalog, later EUSO, and this becomes then available to a larger group of users. So maybe even more simplified, data or knowledge provider would publish their records in a persistent, trusted repository following open science and fair principles. And SoilWise will automatically harvest the metadata and make it available in the catalog for a user. So the catalog, you can see it as an interface towards the record that you actually need. And we're trying to build towards, without trying to make it too ambitious, to build toward a single access point for the soil information. This is also the ambition for EUSO, and we're trying to build a foundation for this goal. So, as I said, become part of the European Soil Observatory later on. And we're also trying to support on both sides, the data and knowledge provider, but also the user. So for the providers, we're building these guidances. We try to make simple ways in explaining how to handle your soil data or knowledge in order to be part of the catalog. And for the users, for example, the chatbot helps for getting information and insights in the soil health domain in a natural language way. This slide we repeat in every presentation, though it's not the most exciting one, but I think it's important to go again over it. So what SoilWise does and doesn't do. So SoilWise, again, tries to provide a single access point to soil data and knowledge. It's indexing available data and knowledge, so it's not storing on the catalog, it's not a repository. It's linking with other repositories and catalogs. It connects with other existing catalogs, also from the Mission Soil projects. And in the end, what we would aim is to make the life of data and knowledge providers and users easier through this, let's say, interface. And definitely SoilWise is not copying or storing the third-party data. It's not controlling or judging it in any way. It's not stealing it or using it for any purposes, including demonstration without consent. We're really not working at the data level, but at the metadata level. Oh, this was a bit fast. And through the years that we're working on this project, we really realized that we can develop the most advanced and AI-driven system. We can put a lot of effort in the technology, but it only works as long as the community is on board and aligned. So one way to do this is through this data and knowledge management clusters that we are organizing together with JRC, DG Agri, and REA. But we really observed that to develop this into a useful and functional soil data and knowledge infrastructure, the collaboration efforts and also the benefits should be mutual for all involved stakeholders. And here also in Zenodo, we published a practical guide for data and knowledge providers where they can see how they can publish their assets in a way that it works with this, let's say, infrastructure. And finally, we're now getting very close, next week, to releasing the third prototype. You can have access to all this information soon on the website, including the technical documentation, but also, as I said, to demonstration events. There are many things developed that go under the hood, but maybe the most visible ones are the metadata catalog and the soil companion, which will be today presented, but we're also working on more innovative research things, such as the knowledge graph, which helps us interoperability and semantic search in the soil health domain, and also the soil walk, which it's envisioned to be merged with the knowledge graph, and information about these components maybe we can show in a future webinar if there's interest for this. So I won't spend too much time now on this. And with this slide, my context or setting up the context is finished, and I will give the floor to my colleague Diana for the next part.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Radu, for this nice introduction and putting everything into context. Yeah, let me share my screen as well. Okay, I hope you can see it. Yeah, so I'm Diana Snupkova from Bastorik University, and today I'll talk to you about the metadata catalog, also on behalf of my colleague Marlies, who has done most of the work, I would say. Yeah, so as Radu already mentioned, in SoilWise, we are trying to build a single access point to European soil data and soil knowledge, and also like bring different repositories, Scholar, national and geoportals, and also the soil mission project outputs all together into one place. And metadata catalog is supporting this findability of these resources. It provides a structured view on the search results compared to the Soil Companion, which is more on chatbot-like interface. This is more traditional, let's say, catalog-like structured search results. Previously, we have used the PySysW user interface, but now with this iteration, we built a second user interface which is based on Apache Solr backend, which improves indexation and ranking of the search results, and a JavaScript React frontend. So this is a new prototype for us, and we will be improving it throughout the next year. So I would really like all of you to ask you to provide some feedback, because this is very much appreciated and can help us move forward. So how can you get to our SoilWise catalog? I put some links into the chat. So first one actually goes to the metadata catalog. It's on our project website. So if you already know our project website, you can go under resources, and then you will find here the catalog. And this first bubble actually serves for going to the catalog. The second one is for the Soil Companion, and the rest of the site contains some statistics, or there is even a section for the data providers to know some details. So I invite you all to visit this site. And I'll explain you a bit about the user interface, and then you'll have an opportunity to play with it and try it yourself. I'll explain shortly how that works. First, we have the full text search. So here you can search by text. This search is performed in titles, abstracts, and keywords of the metadata records. You can even use quotes to do like exact match search. And then there is a section on filters. This can help you to narrow down your search results. You can search for a specific resource type, such as data sets or journal articles. And then there are thematic filters. You can here, for example, filter out only the Mission Soil project results. You can also search by license, language, other projects. Here is the list of the Mission Soil projects and other soil-related projects. The source field enables you to search by only a specific harvested source. And the keywords, there is actually the list of the keywords that appear in your current search results. So here you don't have any option to write your own keyword. For that, you should use the full text search. But here you can only filter out the specific results that you have here. The temporal filters. So here you can search by the date of publishing, but also by the temporal coverage of the data set. And the spatial filter, I would say that's the biggest improvement, because that one enables you to search either by your geolocation, putting in an address, or by selecting a country or drawing a bounding box or even a free form. So once you set all of these search keys and filters, you can get to the search result section. It's a paginated result, so you can also sort them by relevance or either by date. And there is also a button for downloading these search results into CSV format. And last but not least is the records detail, where you can display more detailed information, such as, for example, authors or the contact point for this metadata, also the keywords. You may notice that there are some like gray keywords, and these were we are attempting to do some kind of harmonization on the background and link these keywords to the ones that exist in the vocabularies, so it better facilitates the findability. And you have option to share this record detail via this button, or open it like in a big tab. I would like to ask maybe if there are some like very quick questions, and then we can move to you actually trying out the catalog. Yeah, I see that in the chat. It's just a question about the recording. Okay, so let's do it more interactive. On this slide, I actually invite you to try our SoilWise catalog. So as I already mentioned, the link is in the chat. It's the very first one. Let me try that with you. So if you go to SoilWise -he.eu repository, and if you select this third option, you can just click on the search button. Then you'll get navigated to our latest version of the catalog. And on the bottom to the right, you can see a small blue button, which is our survey. So it has 8 questions altogether. It's like a tasks survey, but don't worry if you put in the wrong answer. It's not, we are not going to evaluate that. It was just designed to help you navigate through the catalog. So you can, do it like a game, and in that sense, learn how our catalog works. I mean, you can do it right now. We have some 10 minutes. So I invite you all to visit this link and try out this survey. And meanwhile, if anyone has any questions, we are here to answer them. Yeah, I see a question from Salvador.
Yes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I'm Salvador Fernando from LifeWatcher. I was just wondering, how do you do the harvesting of the resources of the different data sets in terms of like, do you search, do you pick on some keywords, for example, from Zenodo to include them into your metadata catalog, and you pull just those resources, or do you have some system for the users to submit data to the SoilWise repository metadata catalog?
Yes, thank you very much for your question. I'm wondering, I saw Paul here, but I'm not sure if he's still in. He's the expert on the harvester part.
Yes, if he's here.
I'm here, Diana. Yes.
So do you want to answer the question, or should I try my best?
Yeah. We can have a dedicated presentation on that part, but short answer is yes. We harvest from OpenAir, and OpenAir is an aggregator which harvests from various repositories such as Dataverse and Zenodo, etc. And then we also harvest from other sources such as Data Europe, EU, and some other places. Does it answer your question, or you have specific?
A bit, but I was wondering, like, when you say you harvest, I don't think the whole catalog, right? I guess
No.
you filter on resources that are interested,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Interested
this is
for
a crucial, it's indeed a crucial aspect that we need to filter OpenAir because OpenAir has millions and millions of records. So in this case, we harvest mainly the outputs of the European Horizon projects such as Soil Mission and EGP Soil, etc. On top of that, we harvest additional sources which have been indicated by other projects as being of interest to the soil community.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Sorry, may I ask you a question?
Sure, go on.
Yeah, we have Zenodo allows for connecting to project GitHub and create a kind of I understand, kind of a zip file that contains the release of some version of a code. But somehow I did it actually with the code of our project, but somehow it's not harvested. I find everything that we published in Zenodo, like the documents, the reports, and so on. But I don't really find this. So somehow it's not harvested. And I don't know if I did something wrong, maybe, or just not sure what's wrong with this.
Yeah,
Because
I understand your frustration, and I must admit I have the same because in the previous version, these things were harvested, but in this second, we are trying to figure out, to tweak some details with the harvester because these results should definitely be there. Of course, I had to ask if you put your funding information in the Zenodo because that's crucial for the harvester.
yeah, in principle, we put everything. Far as I understand, yes, we put to all the documents the same kind of metadata. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. We also have this tool on the project website. It's down here. It's called, or doesn't have a name here, but here you can input your DOI and validate why it is or it is not in SoilWise. So you can try this. Maybe it will give you some info. But I would say that in this case is a thing that we have to resolve on our side yet with this new prototype, because these things should exactly be harvested.
Yeah, you say that I can just look for DOI as is in the catalog. That's what you mean.
Here, there is like a tool, DOI checker. So in the section for data and knowledge providers, you can evaluate if you are missing your result in the SoilWise catalog. You can find out why is that.
Okay. Well, thank you. I guess.
But nice.
No, it's not found. It's not found. But
Mhm.
maybe I messed it up somewhere. I will check it. But anyway, yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can even provide the link into the chat, and we can use it as a test example, because I really think that this is something that we have to resolve on our side. Thank you. I'm not sure if there are any more questions or anyone would like to share their experience or feeling after playing a bit with our catalog? Yeah. So I don't see any more hands or questions in the chat. I'll keep this survey running for a while, so you can continue with it or share it with your colleagues. And but meanwhile, between the demonstrations, we also put up the second type of survey, which is even more generic, to provide your feedback if you have found the sources that you have been looking in the SoilWise for, or if you haven't, or this one can even be used to report on some bugs that you stumble upon. But I will activate this only tomorrow probably. So today you can still play a bit with the more game, let's say, approach. But again, I would like to invite you to provide the feedback, because it really helps us to improve our product. And as I mentioned, this is just a second prototype, and we will be improving it in the upcoming year. Yeah, so if there are no more questions, then I think I can give a word to Rob, who will talk you through the Cell Companion.
Yeah, sure. Let me try to figure out how to share them.
Do you want me to share it? Or if it makes sense for you from your side?
I should be able to figure it out.
Okay.
All these. Okay. Some security settings. Hope it works. Okay. Are you seeing the presenter view of the slides?
You just need to put it in the
Swap.
that's right. Presentation mode. Good.
Yeah, swap the screen things. So sorry about that. Yeah, I will be talking a little bit about the Soil Companion. It's like a different way to like query this metadata catalog. That's Padu has presented about, and the search interface that Diana showed. So the Soil Companion is more like an experimental environment that uses a chatbot to help you explore the same kind of metadata, the same kind of the harvested information, but then more using natural language. And of course, by now we all know how chatbots function. We've seen enough of them lately. So I guess everybody has some experience on how to work with them. But I will specifically be showing the Soil Companions that we're developing in the SoilWise project. So my name is Rob Knapen. I work for Wageningen Environmental Research. I'm basically an AI expert and a research engineer, working on a lot of different projects, but SoilWise is one of them. So like was said, the things like the Soil Companion, like chatbots, is like an alternative way to explore the same information. So it's allows you to work a little bit different to access the same information, or to search it in a little bit different way than just providing keywords and having to set up all kinds of filters. So that's more like the system searching for you and presenting you with a whole bunch of matches, even though if they're ranked, there can still be many. And then you can use the filters to narrow it down, but it's mostly you that are in control and have to do the work. And some of the work can be delegated to like an agentic system or an AI-based system. A conversational chatbot is one example of those things, and specifically one that we are exploring in the project. So you can see on the slide that the two different types of questions that you can ask. One goes to the catalog to do search, where you work mostly with keywords, and the other one goes to the chatbot where you mostly can ask more human-like questions. This is a brief schematic overview of what's behind the scenes, basically, what the Soil Companion is, how it's made in this version. And it's like an evolving system. So we also, like with the Search UI, we learn from the evaluations that we get and the feedback we get, and then try to adjust the system so that it hopefully makes it more usable. And in the end, for the project, we have a very usable product. What you mostly will see is the front end, and it's on the left in this slide. It's just a typical conversational user interface. You can type your questions in a natural language, and then behind the scenes, this chatbot using LLMs will generate a response, and this response will be displayed, and then you can ask follow-up questions. The idea of having and asking follow-up questions is very relevant for this version of the chatbot, because it's based on having a conversation, basically. So it's not uncommon that the first response that you get to your question, specifically if you have asked a very complex question, that the response will be the perfect one. So you usually have to ask a few follow-up questions and guide it a little bit so that you get the information that you're actually looking for. This is kind of part of having a conversational user interface. It's like similar to talking to another person, basically. So often you don't get the right response, the response you're looking for right away. So you have to ask a few follow-up questions. Starting from the center, basically schematically how the chatbot works internally in this version. So it has a few documents that is called here the in-memory RAG. So the RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. So these are documents that have very basic knowledge for the chatbot, things that we in the project have decided that's very essential for its functioning in the way that we want it, and essential things that we know about and want to kind of force a definition, like definition of soil health that has been accepted in the project. So this is one of the things that has been added to these core documents. But also very like the organizations involved in the project, the definition or the description of the project itself, some key documents about soil health. So these type of, it's very limited data set basically, but this is the in-memory RAG system. The chatbot uses LLMs from OpenAI at the moment to generate responses. So those are hosted by OpenAI, that we don't have to run them ourselves, which is very convenient, but also comes with some restrictions, of course, which are very much related to the use of these hosted LLM services. And then what SoilWise currently can do is access the catalog and the knowledge graph that Radu briefly mentioned, with the additional information through what's called tool calling or function calling. So it's not that the catalog and all the documents in the catalog and all the metadata is part of this RAG system, but it's more like an indirect access where the chatbot or the LLM can request search, can do search requests basically in the catalog and find some documents, and then the metadata about these documents or data sets can be used by the LLM to generate responses. So it's more like an indirect lookup mechanism at the moment. And hopefully in the next version, we can integrate this even further than we can do at the moment. And then, yeah, this use of tools or function calling is very flexible, so we can add more. Like in this example, at the moment, we have soil grids as a tool that the chatbot can access, and AgroDataCube, that's our Dutch database, Dutch service that has agronomy information for the Netherlands, the crop baskets in the Netherlands. So it's very localized data set, but it also gives very, very specific knowledge to the LLM, to the chatbot to work with. Yes, so now I would like to do and try a live demonstration of the chatbot, which is always risky. Let me start. Share a different window. So I guess you can see the chatbot now.
Yes.
Thank you. Hope I remember the password. Otherwise, it will be a very short demonstration. Okay. So this is like this is the front end of the chatbot. See, the main screen is to the right. On the left is kind of this sidebar has some additional information. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's just the basic principle of the chatbot is like the same. So you can type your question, and it will try to give a response. So all questions about soil related to soil are answered, and questions that are out of scope, at some point it will not respond to them, because we like to, when we're not aiming at creating another general chatbot. So the more interesting signature, this works like a regular chatbot. You can see in the bottom right the model that it's using at the moment. So it's OpenAI GPT 4.1 mini version, but yeah, these things can be changed to more capable models also. What it will do is, based on the response that it gets, it will create these shortcuts where you can ask basically, if you click on them, it will generate a follow-up question. So in this one, it will go and search, as I showed with this tool calling mechanism. It will try to find publications related to ecosystem services in this case, and then write a one-page explainer. So this clicking on one of these will generate like this template question, and then all you have to do is send it. Now, fingers crossed that it works. Okay, so let's see, it apparently has found some documents in the catalog. And then it will use these to, let's say, generate some kind of explainer about ecosystem services related to soil, and give you links to the, these are links to the SoilWise catalog. So you can just follow them and you end up in the catalog with this journal article in this case. And you can explore it further. So this is still linking to the previous version of the catalog at the moment. So that you might see some difference with the new version, but in the end, of course, it will go to the new version as well. yeah, so you can explore and ask your follow-up questions related to this and so forth and so on. There's also these little thumbs up and thumbs down. So these is a very simple feedback that you can give. So if you disagree with this and say, okay, this is too generic, you can basically mark it, and then this feedback will be logged. So I can analyze it later and see what questions were asked and how the chatbot responded, and if it was a good response or not. We can use that information to fine tune the system. Other interesting things. So there's some tips on the left for first use. So it talks a little bit about the conversational nature. So you can clear your conversation and then start a new one. So it forgets about everything that has been typed before, which is very, very relevant for this type of system. Of course, there are plenty of disclaimers because it's still artificial intelligence, so it's still AI, and not necessarily gives you a correct answer, unfortunately. So something to be aware of for all AI systems. You can use this little map to enter a very precise location. So we're in the Netherlands. And then you click on a location and it will select these specific coordinates. And then usually you can ask something like, so in this case, it will use the location that was clicked on the map and try to find some information about the soil type here. Okay. So usually it will go to try soil grids to get this statistical 250-meter soil information. It might not be that soil grids it might be that soil grids not working at the moment. So it looked into the other thing I mentioned, because we're in the Netherlands on the map. It looked in the AgroData cube, where it found some crop field apparently, and then related to the crop field, it is the information that it's mostly a sandy soil. So this is like another example of how it uses these tools to have access to more information specifically related to location. And let's see the other one. This last tab shows how it's using the knowledge graph for SoilWise at the moment. So based on the text in the part of the response, let's say, just to have some more interesting text. So what it actually will do when the text is complete, it will look at the relevant words in this text and then relate them to the knowledge graph, and then it will fill these lists on the left side. So you can see the terms popping up. It also will try to find pages on Wikipedia, so you can click these as well, and it will go to the Wikipedia page, or use these and then get another explainer, find data sets that are in the catalog about soil organic carbon. Let's see if it actually can find some. So here, indeed, it has done a search in the catalog for these data sets related to soil organic carbon, and it found some. It gives you some information based on the metadata, and then you can go to the, if it works, go to the record in the catalog and explore this data set further and start downloading it somewhere, I hope. Yes, and I think that this is like basically the main functionality that's currently available in this version of the chatbot. You can also upload some small data files. In this case, these files are example soil sampling reports of a region. So then you can ask it specific information based on these type of reports. If I could time. And this is mostly just to give an idea that this functionality is possible. It's not fully implemented yet, but it could be a way to add some more information, some very individual and local information to the chatbot, and then allow it to include that into the response that that will generate. So I see that it read the soil sampling report and then came up with some more specific advice based on the information. Yes, so I think that's basically the whole functionality that we currently have in the chatbot. Switch back to the presentation. No. Oh, sorry. I was there. I didn't recognize. So yes, the demonstration. So these are some of the foreseen next step for the next development cycle, what we want to work on. As you've seen, the current chatbot is like this AI conversational interface that can answer soil-related questions. It uses large language models and function calling. It integrates with the catalog and the knowledge graph. What you want to do is you also see I've seen some of the limitations, so we definitely want to make it more context aware and explore more this very working with localized and field level data, connected much better to the catalog and the documents, basically the knowledge documents in the catalog. Just to replace this function call. The other thing that's, of course, the whole field of generative AI and these chatbots is developing very quickly. So we can also think about providing agentic access to the catalog itself. So basically making it available to other chatbots. So it's not only our own, but other chatbots be able to use it as well. And these protocols are being developed, but it's going really quickly. So it's becoming more interesting, I think, to do that. And just as an example that I wanted to show is that you can do these similar things with Google already, basically. So they are moving very quickly as well. So you might already do this, that you can just type your questions in Google and it will do similar things. It also shows you some kind of AI generated response, but it also does more of this language interpretation that we are attempting. So you don't use Google to do only keyword-based searches, but you can also start typing your questions in Google. So it's interesting to see this competition and where SoilWise and our own Soil Companion chatbot can distinguish itself and provide some additional benefits. Coming back to the evaluation, so this is the link of the evaluation form for the chatbot. I would be very happy if you would give it a try and fill in the form with your questions and provide some feedback. I put on the slide some questions that you could try to get started, but of course you can feel free to try your own questions. They don't have to be in English. You can try other languages as well, and just see how well it works and share your impressions on that. Like what's on the slide, the instructions, the URL for the chatbot, and the account for logging in are in the evaluation form. So you should be able to use it.
Rob, there is a question in the chat box.
Sure. Let me stop sharing.
Yes, sorry, you can maybe read yourself.
Yeah. Okay. If that's field level information. Yeah, very good point. So as I showed, when it looks in Argo Data Cube, it tries to find the most recent field information. So that was also in the response. There was a field from 2025. Of course, the soil, thank you. So the fields change more regularly more frequently than the soil. I would expect, but we'll definitely include the date or the timestamp or the anything that's related to the currency of the data that it's using.
Okay, so this is my slide.
Yes.
So you can leave it on. Okay. So thank you, Rob, for the very detailed presentation about the Soil Companion. Do we have any other questions about the Soil Companion?
There's one more in the chat.
Okay. My concern is about soil carbon content in particular.
Okay. Yeah, I see. So at the moment we don't have any resource where I can immediately get this type of information. But if we add them, then I'll make sure that we include timestamps or whatever when we retrieve the information and whatever is available as metadata for the data sets or the servers. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for this part. So we are almost at the end of the webinar. I would like to ask you to use this link and code to the Mentimeter and to answer these the questions. Just a quick few questions for your feedback. So we would like to know which activities are of interest to you, because we will have many activities and sessions in the upcoming months. So here are the ways to interact with us. You can join our webinars and demo sessions. You can provide your information on your activities. Follow the information about our training sessions. Follow us on our social media channels, and follow the updates on our website, and also subscribe to the SoilWise newsletter. Okay, so I would like to start with, let me share my screen. If you would be so kind to use the either via your phone or to scan the QR code, or use the link that is in the chat. So I will have to just share my screen with you so I could see the results. Okay. All right, so we already have a lot of answers. So in one word, how would you describe today's session? Mostly interesting, informative, insightful, exciting, inspiring, good, a little bit slow as well. And metadata catalog was of your interest, as I see. Helpful. Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on to the next part. How relevant was the webinar to your work or interest? So you have the scale here. Just click on the right one. So it's either relevant or highly relevant. Thank you. Perfect. All right, the next one. Did the webinar increase your knowledge of the topic, both the SoilWise project in general, SoilWise metadata catalog, Soil Companion, or smart chatbot? Thank you. How likely are you to use the SoilWise catalog in your future work? We are very happy to see these results. Thank you. How clear was the explanation of the Soil Companion and its practical use? Thank you. What further capacity building topics would you like SoilWise to cover? Here are a few proposed topics that we are planning to cover in the upcoming months. But if you have others, you can choose other as well. And on the next slide, you will be able to type it in. So far, AI for soil health is the most interesting topic. Then how to prepare metadata and use Zenodo. How to verify the data, semantics and WCAPs. Thank you. Then on the next slide, if anyone clicked other, you can just a second. You can just type it in. If you have any other ideas or any other topics that you would like us to cover. If not, then please tell us if you would like to be included in the SoilWise stakeholder network and receive updates about the future events, releases, and opportunities to participate. Thank you. And if you're interested, please leave your email address. These results will be hidden from the rest of the group, so don't worry. Thank you. We will contact you directly and keep you informed about our activities. So I will just leave this part and just a few more words about our upcoming events. As we already mentioned, the demonstration phase of the second development cycle began in April. 2 days ago, we held a demo session for Living Labs together with SoilL. The recording of the session will also be available on our communication channels. The upcoming sessions that we will organize in the following months, mostly April, May, and June, will be demo sessions dedicated for different stakeholder groups, for land managers, which is in charge of our partners from ILO, research community by our partners from CIRAD, policymakers by the partners from CREA, and business community and farming professionals from Gaia. So make sure to follow us via our social media channels or updates on our website, or also by subscribing to our newsletter. Then, sorry, I'm not doing the presentation mode, sorry. Okay, so where you can find us in the next period, these are events that some of our colleagues will be present at. First of all, there's a European Geosciences Union General Assembly in Vienna in May, and the Soils for Europe conference in Portugal in September. And these are the links to the project website for the subscription to the SoilWise newsletter, and there are links to our social media channels. And that would be all. Thank you. So just one more question. Does anyone has any question about the webinar, about some parts that were presented today? Thank you for your kind words in the chat box. So if there are no any other questions, so I would like to close this webinar. Thank you all for your participation and your active engagement today. And we hope to see you soon at our other events in the following months. And many thanks to my colleagues as well.
Thank you, Juliana, as well.
Thank you. Thanks for organizing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Juliana. Bye.
Thank you, Katerina. Bye.